were some issues about the gloves, more specifically the padding or the lack thereof of the gloves. There were some gloves made, customized gloves made by Maidana which had the horsehair, the Everlast with the horsehair, filling. There are obviously two types of gloves. There's the ones with the padding, with the foam filling, and the ones with the horsehair. And I think there's a third one. It's like a combination of the two of them. But what we're talking about here is that the gloves with those customized gloves with which were in the Argentinian colors, those were ruled by the commission as not conforming, and so those are not allowed. But then other Everlast gloves were produced, different Everlast gloves were produced, some with foam, some without foam, and those were all okay by the commission. So now I think basically the teams are just working out which ones it's going to be. So they're just everything will be okay. It's just a matter of the teams working out which kind of gloves it's going to be.
What about Maidana walking out?
What do you mean walking out?
I had heard that Maidana just walked out of that.
No, that's not correct.
It's not true?
No, that's not true.
Are they still talking about the gloves?
They're discussing, not the camps are discussing it, yeah. So it's not a commission issue, right? Because it's not a commission issue.
But are they still talking about it now, or
they're still talking about it, but everything will be worked out. I mean, both guys want to fight.
How does the commission play into it?
Well, the commission obviously looks at gloves, and if they feel that they ultimately have to say so to approve gloves or not approve gloves. And but with these particular gloves, one of them was not approved, and all other ones, which were Grants and Everlast, and I think there was even a pair of Cleto Reyes, all of those other gloves that were approved. And so now it's just a matter of the camps working out in which gloves they're going to fight and in which gloves they're going to come out. But I am absolutely confident that it will all be worked out.
So the gloves with the little padding in them were not approved?
No.
The first one, the blue with
they were not approved.
Okay, there are versions that.
But I have to say, I was called into this. I was down at the Golden Boy office and do some stuff, and then I was called in, when the shit almost hit the fan,
Mm-hmm.
So to sort of come and save the day. And by that time, those first gloves I described, the ones with the blue colored gloves, everybody had touched them already, So I mean, it's not really fair to say that these were not conform. But by the time I saw them, I have to admit, it was very thin padding. But if you keep touching them and stretching them and stuff like that, I didn't really see them from the beginning. But the fact is, all of the gloves were 8-ounce gloves. But obviously, when you have gloves, to make them 8 ounces, that's easy. The question is, where is the weight distributed? Right. You can have gloves with very thin padding, and 2 ounces are here and 6 ounces are back here. So I think what this does, though, is, it's basically going to be something going forward which needs to be addressed. Usually in contracts you address the color of brands, you address the color of the gloves, you address the brand of the gloves, and so on. But I think there's something else which we need to deal with going forward, which is the type of the gloves, because I just said there are different types of gloves, and you see that without you have to look at them. You can just look away and touch. You have the foam one and you have the horsehair one, and it's two different set of tools.
And Richard,
I think that has to be addressed going forward.
This isn't uncommon, Richard, right? This happens all the time as far as...
Yeah, you always have some gloves, so you have this or you have that. It's all part of boxing, right, and making Friday night miserable for the promoter. Right. So,
did the contract just specify Everlast gloves, but not the type? Because there are 3 different types of Everlast gloves.
Both fighters. When you have usually in most of these big fights, what it says is that both fighters can select the brand and the color of the gloves, but both agree to 8 ounce, or if it's above 147, 10 ounce gloves, and that's it. You know, I mean, it doesn't stipulate what type of gloves. You know, it can only be foam gloves or whatever you want to call them, and or only horsehair gloves. You know, it doesn't stipulate that, and probably going forward, that has to be done. And I think I have a feeling that the commission is going to be more. You know, these days, in the old days, you know, there are the gloves and they were red mostly, and that was it. You know, and these days you see all these fancy gloves and custom-made gloves and so on being used by fighters. And I think the commission is going to probably going to be implementing some new rules as well, where these, if somebody wants to use customized gloves, that they're going to have to be presented to the commission way before the weigh-in, so that, you know, the opposing camps and whoever it is can take a look at it, so that you can avoid these kind of disputes.
What if both camps can't resolve the issue themselves?
I'm not worried about
What
that.
happens then? Well, I mean, you never know what'll happen between those two camps.
No, I'm sure they're going to be able to resolve it.
Would you get involved though? Like if it keeps on?
If I have to get involved, I have to get involved. You know, but I'm not really the
What could you
arbitrator
do?
here. You know, I could say, well, I am ruling, and no, I can't. I mean, that's like, what can I do? You
Just
know?
to
There are
clarify,
versions that Mayweather didn't accept the second pair of gloves neither. Are they working on those pair of gloves or a third option?
They're basically working on what is the right way to go about it, and I'm sure a fair option will be found. So I'm not, as I said, I'm not worried about it.
were there 2 pairs of custom-made gloves?
There were a bunch of gloves there. There were like foam gloves, horsehair gloves. There were different brands. There was all sort of stuff lying around by the time I was there. And now, you know, the commission basically said, you guys go and figure it out. You know,
Do they have a
because
certain-
because
certain
as I
time
said,
limit to decide?
well, obviously by tomorrow, yeah.
But the big problem is
How?
No, I am not
how late
worried.
into the
Look,
process
I
can
am
they keep
told
on?
that it's going to be no problem. There's going to be a fight. There's going to be a fight. They're going to fight, and they're both going to wear gloves, and we're all going to be happy. Don't ask me which brand, okay? It will be a brand which is acceptable to the commission, and that's what it's going to be. And it's going to be 8 ounce gloves, and whether if it's going to be foam or not foam, or horsehair or no horsehair, honestly, it's all horseshit.
So it's not true that it's not true that Maidana stormed out. Huh?
No, he didn't storm out.
Okay.
The branded gloves were approved by the commission. The MX gloves are approved by the Nevada State Athletic Commission. So where is the actual, what problem?
Well,
is
because
there
were different MX gloves. You know, there were different gloves. You know, when you start ordering gloves and you start making your own gloves, then, you know, I mean, it's not like a standard glove anymore. You have different color, you know, different, everything is different. And I can understand that fighters oppose to that, you know, and so I think they're going to have to be, as a result of this, you're going to be seeing more stringent rules as it relates to non-standard gloves.
So the problem isn't with the brand of MX
No, it's not the
gloves,
brand.
it's with the variation
It's
that
the
was
variations
presented.
of the padding. That's what it is.
Okay.
That's what it is, and I think that's a valid point, because you want to have an even playing field. You know, you don't want to have one guy basically go with almost bare hand knuckles, and the other guy has like a pillow like this. I mean, you know, it has to be fair, and that's all what it is. And I'm sure a fair solution will be found. That's what I was. That's why I'm here. Believe me. Otherwise, I would still be down there.
Right there.